See, white balls are easy to lose, but here's a custom ball, and see, you're already following the ball. See, look at the ball. You're already following it. Marty, a custom ball like this is going to cost a lot of money. Well, it's a Marty Supreme ball, not a Marty normal ball. Marty Supreme comes to us from A24 and filmmaker Josh Safdie, who did Uncut Gems. And if you liked Uncut Gems, you may absolutely adore Marty Supreme, because it's pretty much dealing with the same type of reprehensible, pathological lying type that we saw Adam Sandler play in Uncut Gems. Because, boy, that was a tour de force. You just kept waiting for him to finally wake up and stop doing what he was doing and maybe not grow up, but just stop getting so close to the edge and he's about to break. Well, you get to see Timothée Chalamet play Marty Mauser, that is loosely based on Marty the Needle, who was a tremendous table tennis player. You can read up on him, Google it, kids, whatever it is you kids do these days. And Timothée Chalamet has been lavish with praise. I mean, for numerous roles. People loved him in Dune and Dune 2, and they'll probably love him in Dune 3, which I actually don't know if I'm going to bother watching Dune 3, because why? But a complete unknown that I still have not seen as of this recording. I know, I'm sorry. It's the one Best Picture nomination from the Oscars that I wasn't able to get to. But Marty Supreme basically just shows how great Timothée Chalamet is, to the point that he actually learned and practiced and got good at table tennis for 6 to 7 years. He worked on it when he was on other film sets, including A Complete Unknown, because he was that dedicated to playing Marty Supreme. This has been advertised heavily, very, very heavily. And also this was written by Ronald Bronstein, who did Uncut Gems, and Timothée Chalamet. Somewhere in like the 1950s, that's the best I can narrow it down. And I only say somewhere in the 1950s because, well, it deals with after-war Japan when tensions are still high. So you kind of have to wonder what the hell, you kind of have to wonder, like, what in the world's, what kind of tensions like those would have been. Because, God, man, they may have, done a Pearl Harbor job on us, as Gorilla Monsoon would say. But boy, oh boy, did we retaliate like dicks. That being said, Marty Supreme is an enormously entertaining film about a super reprehensible character. He's not an abuser. He's not necessarily a piece of shit in the sense that he does drugs or whatever it is. He's just a pathological liar that likes to use people. I'm not saying that one outweighs the other, but that is pretty much what Timothée Chalamet plays. And at peak performance, by the way, from the opening. And by the way, 10 out of 10, no fucking notes for those goddamn opening credits. That was great. I mean, I'll explain why in the goddamn spoilers. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. When that needle drop happened, I said, oh, fuck yeah. Okay, all right, 5. 5 across the goddamn board. There we go. Plus, Odessa Zion is in this, who, my word, she is just rising up the fucking ranks. She, very, very good. Really, really incredible in this. Some great ranges she displayed as Rachel, a friend, sometime love interest of Marty. And we also have his Uncle Murray, Larry Ratso Sloman. Ratso, that's just a great nickname. The standout for me in this among everybody was Luke Manley, who played Dion. Dion, he was a friend of his who kind of has been living with his parents, that kind of stuff, doing, kind of like maybe being held back a little bit because he means well, but maybe he's not as motivated in the right ways. But he delivers some really, really good scenes here. And also, we have goddamn Gwyneth Paltrow as Kay, and, an actress that used to do some, great movies, but hasn't acted in a while. She has a husband with the name of Rockwell, and Rockwell Inc., all that, and yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow in a movie. It's like, oh boy, I was expecting to hate that. No, shockingly, I did not mind Gwyneth Paltrow in this. I actually enjoyed Gwyneth Paltrow in this role, considering that I have held a grudge against her since Shakespeare in Love. That is saying something. And also, Fran Drescher, of all that being said, it's pretty damn loaded cast and a whole lot of fun. Granted, I think a lot of this is just fanciful and maybe moments of it are based on truth. I do also want to shout one other performance. Tyler, the Creator, playing Wally. He has some good scenes in this as well. It bounces around a whole lot. It tells some of the story of Marty's life, which, if you know more about it, that might actually, help or hinder your experience with this. But it really is fucking tremendous and just an absolute gem to watch. It is great to watch, right at the end of the year. You might put it in your top 10. You might put it in your top 5. I don't know. One thing I do want to say is Gwyneth Paltrow wasn't sure about doing love scenes after not doing them for a while. But then she didn't understand about an intimacy coordinator. Not that she didn't respect boundaries, but maybe since when she came up, she wasn't so sure about what that was. But again, Timothy is fucking tremendous, but the surrounding cast really does elevate this movie. And yes, it's filmed stressed and news, uncut gem style, but it is really a whole lot of fun. And really just from those, the opening at a shoe shop, the goddamn opening credits, to the very, very end with another needle drop, you're going to find yourself cheering for such a reprehensible character as him. So that being said, I'm going to get into spoilers, talk about a few things I like. So, it's in theaters right now, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, Marty wants to make it big in table tennis. He's working at a shoe shop, his uncle owns it, and Rachel shows up. And basically, she had made a comment, she bought some shoes, but she left her old shoes. Oh, did you leave them back there? Let's go back there. And he pretty much nails her in the goddamn, stock room, which it would be hard to resist Odessa, just saying that. And as that starts happening, Forever Young by Alphaville plays. As we go to where basically some of the sperm are going towards the goddamn egg and everything, as this plays. And I was dying laughing. I was holding my laughter in because I was trying not to laugh too loud, but I was dying laughing inside because this was great. And then we go right to the egg, and then the egg turns into a ping pong table tennis ball with Marty Supreme on it, and boom, we go there, and you know what? That's it. Okay, hooked right there from the very beginning. Claws are in me. There we are. All right, that's it. And it turns out that he got Rachel pregnant. He finds that out sometime later, but he is going to the London Games, and he does really well until he runs into a Japanese player that kind of has a unique paddle and plays, hits uniquely, called Kodo Endo. That actor also, I didn't catch his name, but he was pretty damn good in this. He didn't really get to do much, but he had a nice stoic, persona about him, so I like to see him in more stuff. And he sees him, but then he also worms his way into a suite at the Ritz and ends up basically getting with Gwyneth Paltrow. And everything's going good until he loses against Endo. The Endo game, as it were. And he doesn't handle losing well. He freaks out. He's calling it bullshit, saying this kind of stuff because he doesn't face adversity very well. If this doesn't work out, that never enters his goddamn mind. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying he's bound and determined to make this work. By lying and doing a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, hell, at one point, he holds up Lloyd, who works at the goddamn thing, at the shoe shop, for money that he is owed by his uncle, because his uncle wanted to make him a manager of the shoe place, but he just wants the money to pursue his table tennis dream. And just the stuff we get Dion talking about, the custom-made ball, an orange ball and everything. It's going to cost a lot of money. But we get that reference a little bit later on. Fran Drescher playing the mother. She gets a few neat little scenes. She doesn't get really to do a lot, but it was nice to see her in something different than the nanny. And I know she's done other roles since, but that's pretty much the role that defines her. No annoying laugh like that, like she's a goat being strangled. But then we see him not handle the loss all that well in London. And he was given an offer by a friend of his that survived the war, the Holocaust. And even at one point, this is where you know that Marty probably is a reprehensible guy, even though he is Jewish. He says about this guy, I'm going to do to him what Auschwitz couldn't. And he says, well, I'm Jewish. I could say that. It's still rude. Rude? Given that we are in the aftermath of World War II. And oh boy. Oh, dear God in heaven. But also, there's talk about the Japanese players, how they get around the travel ban, what in the world is going on. And, Endo is seen as a national hero. And Rockwell, who is the husband of Gwyneth Paltrow's Kay, sees an opportunity for Marty to have an exhibition and play to promote his products and also do some stuff. But it's not a way to win. It's a way to make things look good. And Marty had been doing stuff with the Harlem Globetrotters, like his associate had said, but he wants to do more. And we see a montage of him doing some stuff around, the world, including Cairo. He chips off a piece of the pyramid, hands it to his mother, said, we helped build that and everything. If you build it, they will... So that being said, as this is going on, it turns out that Rachel is married to a guy named Ira that is not a very good guy. Not a very good guy. We find out why a little bit later. But she's pregnant. And it's very obvious that it is not his kid. And boy, oh boy, things do not get any easier for Marty. Marty essentially, keeps lying his way out of all this until it becomes pretty goddamn obvious that things are just gonna hit a goddamn wall. Now, he meets his friend Wally, played by Tyler, the Creator, and they are going to come up with a way to earn a whole bunch of money because basically Marty is hit with a bill that shows that essentially, if you just give me a second, I'm going to put my chair back up, and there we go. We are here. We are doing this live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. And basically, they are trying to come up with a way to get a whole bunch of money because he's got a fine to pay off. And he's got to have a way to do this. So they stay in a seedy hotel because he has to be on the run because he stole money from his uncle. Even though it was money owed to him, it's not looking good. The cops are basically in his pocket. All this stuff. Oh my God. Rachel is pregnant, demanding that he take care of her soon-to-be kid because it's his. It is his. Even though he claims he has a pull-out method. And then, oh boy, oh goddamn boy, we get a great pursuit through the goddamn streets. Really good stuff. He does end up contacting his friend. They stay in a seedy hotel where there's a guy with a dog that is not doing all that well. And he's not supposed to take a shower, but he takes a shower. And the tub falls through and hits the guy's arm and traps the dog underneath the, part of the tub. Don't worry. The dog's fine. It's actually kind of the crazy thing. The dog is totally fine. The dog ends up becoming a plot point later. This guy basically says, look, take care of my dog. Because Marty gave him a tourniquet, did all this stuff, is basically trying to, was trying to save him, and did. The guy had a broken arm, but he said to me, take a bunch of money from there, take my dog to the vet, and you can take something for yourself. And he does. But then him and Wally get greedy, decide to rip off a bunch of guys at the bowling alley, pretending to not know each other. Wally even has stuff up his nose, like, Kleenex or whatever, paper towel, whatever it is, maybe tampons, showing that he is beat up, but he's going to play, him for all the money, and then they win all the money, and he drives a taxi, so they're driving along. And then they go break into a gas station and get some goddamn gas. And they got the dog with them, by the way. These guys riding goddamn like they are either a football team or they are going to go to a lynching. Possibly not in that order. Find them. And they are, they're basically trying to get him. And then Marty just sprays him with gas. I'm skipping over a few things that are absolutely gut-bustingly hilarious. But there are some great needle drops in this thing. But he's spraying him with gas. They manage to get away, but he hits the phone pole. The door flies open. The dog runs off. So, and they have the collar, and we'll find out where he went later. And stuff catches on fire, but somehow the gas station doesn't blow up. I don't understand that. And then he's going to get Wally back. He's going to get him a brand new cab, this kind of stuff. But he's just got to make it to the World Championships in Japan. And basically now, unless he finds a way to get $1,500 to pay off his fine and some money to go over to Japan, he's not going to be able to even get close. So all this stuff's lining up. He is still trying to help Rachel. Rachel then shows up with a black eye And oh my god, Ira beat her. Yeah. So basically, he goes to get a trophy, sneaks into his own apartment because, his mother's there and also he doesn't want to get arrested. He knocks on the door, hits the guy over the goddamn face with it and says, "Shame on you." And I don't know why that popped me, but it did. And then they're just going along. He basically put his friend in danger. His friend, Wally, that has kids and has an actual job in pursuit of his dream. And he's trying to take care of Rachel. Rachel stays with Dion and all this stuff, even though, you have all this crazy stuff going on. He's trying to do what he can. He pretends that she's his sister, so all this stuff, whatever. Everything's going okay until he is unable basically to come up with the money. Like, it's it's kind of bleak and everything because he's really trying, but him and Rachel come up with the idea to go find the dog. They go find the dog at a guy called Farmer John. I actually don't know what the fuck the guy's name was. He's like if Big John Harris from Silo Sam, there we go, from World Class Championship Wrestling, had no hair. But the dog basically ended up there, and they want to take the dog back, basically for reward money, because the guy's offering reward money. Well, they kind of get in a bit of a tizzy with the guy. While pregnant, mind you, Rachel drives into the guy's porch to stop him. Somehow hits him, but he gets back up pretty quickly. The window gets shot out. This car, by the way, borrowed from Dion's father. So, yeah, not going great here. Not going great. And we're a little over halfway of this movie. It's about 2.5 hours with end credits. And they basically get in a bit of a fight, him and Rachel do, because they're crying, they're going to be kicked out of the place. But then suddenly she's crying too much, and he notices black stuff. It's makeup. She made her eye up to look like she got beat up. So yeah, Ira may have been a dick. He may have been doing a whole bunch of stuff, but he basically said, look, where the kid's mine or not, you got into this situation. I didn't tell you to get married. He does care about her, but she also made her bad decisions. Not that Marty's taking any accountability for his own shit, but I digress. He is going to go off and do stuff. She ends up getting in a fight with Ira. Fran Drescher and various others are asking that everything's okay. She ends up basically things are not going too well, but they make one final play to claim reward money from this guy. And it ends up turning into a silly little, pseudo action, drama, funny thing where they're trying to get money from the guy, but the guy goes to get the dog, but it's not the dog, it's a pretend dog because they couldn't get it from Farmer Silo Sam John. And they end up basically getting in a big old fight, this kind of stuff. Rachel is somehow able to do this while 8 months pregnant. I don't necessarily understand. And to top all that off, now they don't have the money. Like, he doesn't have the money that he needs, and sees Kay acting on stage. Her husband's funding the thing. She's trying to get back into acting, and essentially, he gets a front row seat. She says, "Meet me at Central Park later." So he does. And he, mind you, they're still getting close. Hell, at one point he fucked her in the goddamn shower before, before seeing the play. And ended up pulling off a necklace and then having a plumber pick it out of the drain, thinking it would be real. No, it's costume jewelry. He tried to rip her off. He didn't mean to. He tried to apologize, but then she sent the note. She gave him a necklace where, basically, it's like an anniversary gift, but it will be enough to get her there. So then they just basically get in these throes of passion where while going down on her, cops show up, and then cops basically end up stealing the necklace as payment. And she can't go get another goddamn necklace because it's an after party. Her publicist is trying to get her to help or get her to listen. And then she goes up to her room. He's waiting for her. And then he goes to see her. She's crying about something. Possible lost love, no idea, but it's not a good time. So now he's unable to do anything. He is totally fucked. Like, none of this is going right. To be fair, he was kind of fucking up all his goddamn stuff, but after refusing Rockwell before about the exhibition thing, he has to basically get down his goddamn knees, has to go get a custom-made Rockwell ink paddle, and has to take a bunch of paddlings. That's a paddling. That's a paddling. And now he will get funded. He will go over there, have the exhibition. And at first, it's kind of going okay. He's complaining about the chords and everything on the stage, but he's like, whatever, I'll face Endo. And he, plays it up and stuff like that because he's a showman, but that doesn't end up going so well. He loses as he's supposed to. But then he says, you know what? I want to win. I talked to the head guy. I, want to pay my $1,500 fine. Let me play for real, and I'll get in the world championships, even though the guy said the brackets are already set. He plays him for real. It's actually really good and dramatic. And he beats him. Rockwell's not very happy at this happening because it made him look like an idiot. To be fair, he's also a dick, so he's not really worth rooting for. But Marty ends up beating him. Really good stuff. He's all emotional. And Endo even recognizes that he's a really good player. Like, that previous game could have gone either way, even though it was 3-0. They were very competitive. And before he went to Japan, he ended up getting Rachel from the guy that had the dog that wanted to go out to the goddamn Farmer Silo Sam John's house and get it back. And that ends up in gunfire where they take some money, or he takes some money from the guy after he got shot, and also the other guy got shot. And I feel bad for the dog because the dog just ran to a person that may have been taking care of him. I mean, clearly, he didn't look unhealthy even though it only been a few days. And I hope somebody went back for the dog. That being said, the hired goons are dead. And also, yeah, Rachel got shot in the shoulder, so she's being taken care of in ICU, but also is going to be in the maternity ward because pregnant. And he realizes, you know what, I got to step up and I got to do this. He goes and does the thing, beats Endo in Japan, and then rushes back to see Rachel and see the kid. And as he's about to see the kid, everybody wants to rule the world, starts playing. And from there, it's like, okay, yeah, all right, there we... And the kid calms down immediately when he sees him because he knows he's his dad. You know what? That got me. There you go. All right, bravo. That plays us off, and there we are. Are there things I skipped over? Sure. Are there finer points that I could have dissected? All right. Is the movie fanciful? Is the movie about a reprehensible piece of shit liar? Yes. But is the movie entertaining and a blast? Absolutely. 5 stars, A+, one of the best movies of the goddamn year. Check out my Letterboxd review if you want. Great performances all around. Really good stuff. And also, we see the orange balls at one point fall out a goddamn window because Dion's had it and just throws them out there. So good. Really good stuff. You done good, Timothée Chalamet. You done good. Odessa Zion. Get her on top of more projects. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritland. Until we see table tennis take the center stage again, happy trails to you.